everybody. Today was the book sale. Instead of doing Wednesday evening and then Thursday and Friday morning, they're doing Thursday evening and Friday morning this year, or this month. They usually do like April and October. So roughly half and half. Not quite 6 months between. The October one's usually a little smaller, and it was today as well. But I still managed to pick up, I think we counted, it was 88 items between me and my son. What? Neko Fluttershy says hi. So let's start with this box. And I picked up a stack of CDs. CDs are old-fashioned. CDs are obsolete. I still have CD players. So, you know, I don't care. I got the Best of Etta James Millennium Collection, 20th Century Masters. I got Best of Cher Millennium Collection, 20th Century Masters. Well, I had it. It now is under the dresser. It wasn't very secure. I have Love Songs of Rock and Roll. And it has some good ones on here. I grew up listening to Bay City Rollers. They're on here with I Only Want to Be With You. So Into You, Atlanta Rhythm section. Something About You, Level 42. Hello, It's Me, Todd Rundgren. I can hardly say his name. Featuring Edgar White. Don't Pull Your Love Out on Me, Baby. Hamilton, Joe Frank and Reynolds. Hooked on a Feeling by B.J. Thomas. That may not be the one I think it is then. Fooled Around and Fell in Love by Starship? That must be a cover because it's an older song. Come and Get Your Love by Redbone. Take My Breath Away by Berlin. Still the One by Orleans. So there's some good ones on there. And a couple of them are versions that I'm not entirely familiar with. They sneezed right before I hit record, and now, as always, I have the drippy nose during a video. I have the Bee Gees. This Is Where I Came In. Do I know any of these songs? Maybe not. A bunch of songs I'm not familiar with just by looking at the title. Barry White, Staying Power. I don't know a lot of Barry White, but I do know he's got a great voice. Any of these? He has a version of Lowrider. I don't know if it's the same song, but I guess I'll find out. Very Best of The Temptations. Millennium Collection, Volume 2, the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Let's see here. Just My Imagination. Papa Was a Rolling Stone. Treat Her Like a Lady. So there's some on there I'm familiar with. A few of them I'm not sure. Sound of Music from the NBC television event 2-disc set featuring Carrie Underwood, Stephen Moyer, Audra McDonald, Laura Benanti, and Christian Borle. Jeff and Sherry Easter, A Work in Progress. Now, I have seen them perform. My mom and I used to go to the Gaither vocal band, or the Gaither homecoming things when they would go to Charleston, West Virginia. We went a couple different times, and Jeff and Sherry Easter were there. Very nice people. We got to meet them and get signatures and things the one time. Well, we met him, not her. She had just had a baby, so she was taking care of the baby when they were doing autographs and stuff. So she wasn't available to sign anything, but he did. And really nice people. Lee Greenwood, American Patriot. So you got the Pledge of Allegiance, America, God Bless the USA, which is his big one. This Land is Your Land, Battle Hymn of the Republic, God Bless America, Dixie, The Great Defenders, America the Beautiful, Star Spangled Banner. I'm not sure what The Great Defenders is. I'll have to listen to that and find out. Number one hits of the 50s. We got some Frankie Avalon. We've got the Fleetwoods before Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham joined them to become Fleetwood Mac. Oh, good Lord. Why do they always have to call during a video recording? Let's see. Danny and the Juniors, the Kingston Trio. Who else is on here? Rosemary Clooney. Pat Boone. There's some good ones on there. And here's Hozier. I only picked this one up because I recognized the title of the first song. I don't know any of these other ones, but this has Take Me to Church on it. And then this one, this guy's kind of a legend in our area because he used to live here. His name is Dwight Eisenhower. Not spelled like the president, spelled a little different. He's an Elvis impersonator, and he's really pretty good. He was actually just performing 2 weekends ago for the Stern Wheel Festival in Pomeroy. Let's see here. Let Me Be There. Bitter They Are. For the Heart. There Goes My Everything. Moody Blue, that's a good one. It's Your Baby Rocket. Inherit the Wind, Long Black Limousine, Sweet Caroline. Did Elvis do a version of Sweet Caroline? I guess he doesn't have to do only Elvis songs. I've Got to Think About You, Baby, Big Boss Man, Funny How Time Slips Away, She Thinks I Still Care, Fairy Tale, and Danny Boy. Anyway, he's pretty good. And like I said, around here he's a local legend because he used to live here. I'm not sure where he lives now. And I lost my tissue. What the heck? There it is. Excuse me. I really hate having to do that on camera. And then I've got a couple that are Christmas CDs. Christmas with Yolanda Adams. Tony Braxton's Snowflakes. Christmas with Frank Sinatra. My Kind of Christmas, Christina Aguilera. And Michael Crawford, A Christmas Album. You may know Michael Crawford as the original Phantom of the Opera. He's got a great voice. Yeah, I can barely read that. It's such small print. So we got the Michael Crawford, Yolanda Adams. Is she gospel or is she R&B? I don't remember. Tony Braxton. I know she does R&B type stuff. Sinatra, can't go wrong with Frank. And Christina Aguilera. So, that's a pretty good stack of CDs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that means the other 70 things in the box are books. Imagine that, I got books at the book sale. Ah! Oh, let's see, where should I start? Well, here's some Christmassy ones. We'll just go with what's in this box and then we'll move to the next box. So in this box, for Christmassy ones, I've got Bella Andre, Kissing Under the Mistletoe, A Sullivan Christmas. I love Christmas stories. And this one is a Harlequin silhouette. No. Harlequin showcase. Harlequin and silhouette are like competing. Never mind. Harlequin showcase, and it's got 2 books. Her Christmas Fantasy and The Winter Bride. And then this one is A Harlequin Christmas Carol. It's got 3 authors listed, so is it 3 different stories? Or is it one story? No, it's 3 different stories. Yesterday's Bride by Bettina Cron. Today's Longing by Jackie D'Alessandro. And Tomorrow's Destiny by Hope Tarr. So you got yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Maybe that's why they're doing that instead of past, present, and future. I picked up a few Stephen Kings. even though I'm not a huge Stephen King reader, I managed to pick up 4. I have Firestarter by the author of The Dead Zone. Well, guess what? I picked up The Dead Zone. And then I picked up Full Dark, No Stars. This one is an anthology of, like, I think 4 or 5 short stories and novellas. 1922, Big Driver, Fair Extension, A Good Marriage, and then there's an afterword. So 4 stories. Good Marriage, wasn't that made into a movie? Or am I thinking of something else? And then there's Stephen King Goes to the Movies, which I didn't even know this existed, so I'm kind of curious. When the lights are on, he's a mild-mannered #1 worldwide best-selling author. When the lights go down, he watches his creations come to shattering, electrifying life. Cue horror movie music. On the big screen, that is. For Stephen King, the experience of seeing his works of short fiction adapted from major Hollywood films has created stories of its own, and he shares them here. 5 of his celebrated short stories, plus King's personal commentary, his all-new introductions, and essential behind-the-scenes insights. Okay, so this has The Shawshank Redemption, which is based on the novella Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. 1408, Children of the Corn, The Mangler, and Hearts in Atlantis, based on Low Men in Yellow Coats. So does it have the actual stories in here too? Huh, interesting. Something to take a look at. Let's see here. We have This Book Loves You by PewDiePie. A picture of PewDiePie and it says the most important thing in this book. Okay, Felix. Okay, so this is something I obviously don't have a clue about. There's a whole bunch of things that say the duck is coming. This looks like it's a lot of memes and kind of random stuff. Don't be yourself, be a pizza. Everyone loves pizza. So there's a lot of random stuff like that, apparently. I didn't know, I just picked it up because it said PewDiePie, and I knew my son would be interested in it. So I'll read it and then pass it on to him. I have 2 books by Gary Paulson. I have The Quilt, which is a companion to Alita's song, which of course they didn't have. I wish they would have. I would have picked them both up. And then this one is Sarnie, A Life Remembered, companion to Nightjawn, which of course they didn't have, or I would have picked it up. But Gary Paulson's good, so I figured at some point I will end up with those other books. Grumpy Cat, A Grumpy Book. I love Grumpy Cat. I was very sad when I heard that she died. We have The Wonder Boy of Whistle Stop by Fanny Flagg, which I believe is a sequel to Fried Green Tomatoes. Or at the very least a companion. Heartwarming novel about secrets of youth rediscovered, hometown memories, and the magical moments in ordinary lives from the beloved author of Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe. It doesn't say if it's a sequel, but I think it is. I really enjoyed Fried Green Tomatoes. So so I'm hoping I enjoy this one as much. Fanny Flagg was a very talented lady. I was sad to hear that she had passed. This one is pretty freaking scary. I believe this is, number 1. And it's You Smell Dead. I thought it looked like it would be cute. It's a little, like, middle grade spooky season type book. Does that make this officially a spooky season video? I got Stephen King. I got the spooky book. I have Garfield at Large, his first book, which I used to have when I was a kid. Lord only knows where those books have disappeared to. Garfield Weighs In, his 4th book. And Here Comes Garfield. In case you couldn't tell, I enjoy Garfield. Right up there with Grumpy Cat. This is The Wild, Da Crazy, Da Vinci. The Time Warp Trio. Does it tell which number it is in the series? I didn't even realize it was a series. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 13 different books listed here, not counting this one. But this is by John Sieska? This dude, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he writes a lot of kids' books. Again, I picked it up because I'm interested in Da Vinci. Oh, that's interesting. The chapter numbers are backwards. I wonder why they did that. That's interesting. Maybe I'll find out as I read the story. Then we have Graham Greene, the honorary consul. British author, wrote The Quiet American, I think. The Power and the Glory, The Comedians. I think he wrote one called The Quiet American. Aha, here we go. The Man Within, Orient Express, It's a Battlefield, The Shipwreck, This Gun for Hire, Brighton Rock, which is one of his better known titles. The Confidential Agent, The Power and the Glory, Ministry of Fear, The Heart of the Matter, The Third Man, which may be his most famous. I'm not sure. The End of the Affair, that's also a pretty well-known one. Loser Takes All, The Quiet American. Our Man in Havana is another well-known one. A Burnt Out Case, The Comedians, Travels with My Aunt. And then there's some short story collections, some essays, a couple plays, an autobiography. So he wrote quite a bit. I have read The Third Man, and was it Our Man in Havana? Maybe? I don't know, I read a couple of his books. Not bad. Toni Morrison, A Mercy. I couldn't remember if I had this one or not. I have Beloved checked out from the library at the moment as one of my goals for October. I have Kristen Hanna, Distant Shores. I've read other books of hers and absolutely loved them, so I thought, why not? We'll give that one a chance. I hadn't heard of that particular one. And then I have Diane Mott Davidson, Fatally Flaky, which is part of the Goldie Bear mystery series. I've got several of them on my shelf. I've read a couple by her. She's okay. For me, I read her stuff in small doses because something about her Goldie Bear character just bugs me, and I don't know what it is. So I just, I don't read a whole lot of them at any one time. Actually, let me set those aside, and I will put those in my box of Christmas books, wherever it may be. I gotta figure out where to put these boxes of books. That's always the challenge after the book sale. What do I do with them now that I got them? Alright. Come here. Box 2. Ugh. Okay, what we got? Put that one aside for the moment. I have another reason this could be considered a spooky season video. I have The Halloween Tree by Ray Bradbury. I absolutely love this book. It's really good. I like that one, and I liked Something Wicked This Way Comes. I think, there's 3 of them that are the October people, or whatever. Does it tell? Of course not. Ooh, cool illustration. I actually found there's a Hanna-Barbera, I think it was it Hanna-Barbera? Did a cartoon of the Halloween tree. Started watching it the other day, but I was so exhausted, I ended up falling asleep before the end of it. I have James Baldwin, If Beale Street Could Talk. Another Graham Greene, The Quiet American. See, I that's why I knew that one. Because I picked up a copy. What else we got? The Pigman by Paul Zindel. A lot of kids read that one in school when I was growing up, but my class didn't for some reason. Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein. H.P. Lovecraft, Tales of the Cthulhu Mythos, Volume 1. Easy for me to say. Saul Bellow, The Adventures of Augie March. Oh, it's March, not Marsh. See, I wrote it down wrong. I'm actually in the middle of watching a video about the 100 best novels written in English. It's a reaction to a thing that was posted by The Guardian, which is one of the British newspapers. And this book was on that list. So I picked it up. What the heck? And another Ray Bradbury, we have Dandelion Wine. I don't read a tremendous amount of sci-fi kind of stuff, but I do enjoy Bradbury. Okay, I have a couple Star Wars books, which my son picked up because he thought my brother might like them. We have Star Wars from the Adventures of Luke Skywalker. Now a spectacular science fantasy adventure from 20th Century Fox. Is this what... Copyright 1976? This is what the original A New Hope movie was based off of. Well, how about that? Cool. I didn't realize it was a novel first. Star Wars Legacy of the Force Betrayal. Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones by R.A. Salvatore. He did a lot of vampire books for TSR. The guys that did Dungeons and Dragons. And this one is Star Wars The Courtship of Princess Leia by Dave Wolverton. I don't think I've been giving authors for all of these books. Sorry about that. Let's see what else we got. We have A Far Side Collection, Last Chapter and Worse by Gary Larson. And Far Side Gallery 4 by Gary Larson. I love the Far Side. They're just so quirky. Let's see. We have Halloween Decorating. This has the Benjamin Franklin Award. Publishers Marketing Association. It's got, how-to on different crafty things, and I think it also had some recipes in the back. Halloween School Parties. So there again, It's officially a spooky haul, right? Or spooky season. There was something else that was... Yeah, here we go. I knew there was another one. 101 Spooktacular Party Ideas. So I am now well set to plan a Halloween party. Yeah, like that's going to happen. Eat Well and Live Longer, a sensible guide and cookbook for a healthy life. Since I have a cookbook collection. Ooh, blueberry peach salad. That sounds good. Is that it? It's a gelatin? Yeah, it starts with orange jello. Weird. Sounded good until I looked at the picture and I'm thinking, maybe not, because I don't know what they're adding into it to make it that color. Let's see, orange gelatin, and you're adding sugar to your jello. Orange peel, orange juice, buttermilk. That's why it's that color. It looks weird. Crushed pineapple, pitted halved peeled peaches, blueberries, and sour cream. Why not just put blueberries and peaches together and not put all the other crap in on top of it? Indonesian chicken and pear salad. That might be interesting. What's that? That looks good. Tandoori pork sauté. Now that doesn't look so bad. I might eat that. Meatless. There's desserts. There's soups and salads and all kinds of goodies in there. So that might be good. Chef MD's Big Book of Culinary Medicine. A food lover's roadmap to losing weight, preventing disease, and getting really healthy. I'm thinking cookbook. Add it to the collection. We have Christmas Gifts of Good Taste. It's like a crafty one. It also has some recipes in it. We have The Cat Who Came for Christmas, which we will put with the other Christmas books. This will go with the cooking books. We have Dance with a Vampire, a Vampire Kisses novel by Ellen Schreiber. It's part of a series, but I don't know if you can read this as a standalone. I wasn't entirely sure. I'll have to read a little closer to make sure. The Merriam-Webster New Book of Word Histories. Right up my alley. I recently hauled one called Horse Feathers, which was kind of the same idea, where it gives you different terms and like their history and things. I don't think this one is set up better because this one's alphabetical. The other one is just kind of random as to however they decided to put them on the list. I have 4 books by Anne Rule because I do enjoy some true crime occasionally. We have Green River Running Red about the Green River Killer. We have Dead by Sunset. Perfect Husband, Perfect Killer? Question mark. And Never Let Her Go. Thomas Capano, The Deadly Seducer. And this is Heart Full of Lies. A True Story of Desire and Death. Why not? Anne Rule, if you're going to read true crime, Anne Rule is the queen of true crime. Did she pass away? I kind of have it in my head that she did. We have the Supernatural Omnibus and Tales of the Uncanny and Supernatural by Algernon Blackwood. I've been watching videos by a guy named Michael K. Vaughan, and he's into this stuff. And talks about Algernon Blackwood quite a bit. Let's see. Supernatural Omnibus. Being a collection of stories of apparitions, witchcraft, werewolves, diabolism, whatever. Necromancy, Satanism, divination, sorcery, Goetry? Never heard of that. Voodoo, possession, occult, doom, and destiny. Edited by Montague Summers. Montague Summers did a vampire book. And of course it doesn't tell on here what it is. It had to do with vampires in Europe. I've got a copy of it someplace. Yeah, I had to look inside because it's got this sticker covering up stuff. That's so annoying. You would think booksellers would know not to put stickers over the important information, like what the book's about. And yet, they still manage to be stupid and cover up the information about what the book's about. And it's very annoying. Okay, one more box. Now. Let's see here. We have Hamlet with Reader's Guide. I think I got a 3-in-1 last time that had a Hamlet version in it. Fanny Flagg, The Whole Town's Talking. Unfortunately, it's missing the dust jacket, so all you can see is just plain blue. I don't know if this has anything to do with the Whistle Stop books, but it might be just a standalone, because she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, at least 10 other books. Oh, 11 if you count the other one I picked up, because it's not listed in here. We have A Treasury of American Literature, edited by Davis, Frederick, and Mott. I think this might be a volume 1. From the Beginning to 1860, volume 1. Published by Grolier. I have several different anthologies, and all of them choose different works to highlight. I have Mompeters, Foma, and Granfalloons by Kurt Vonnegut. I bet he would have been cool to meet. And I really enjoy his writing. I got started on him when I was doing my English degree. One of the girls that was in the majority of my classes was really into him, so I was like, well, I don't know anything about him, so I'll give it a try. Let's see, we got More Tales to Tremble by. Edited by Stephen Sutton. A second collection of great stories of haunting and suspense. I don't know if this is adult-oriented or if this is like middle grade or what. I just thought it looked interesting. We have Real Life Ghost Stories by Carla Doherty. Got a kind of scary looking rat on the front. Can you even see this stuff? My lighting in here is just crap. We have Dark Forces, New Stories of Suspense and Supernatural Horror. This one includes Isaac Bashevis Singer, Davis Grubb, Ray Bradbury, Russell Kirk, Joyce Carol Oates, Robert Bloch, Edward Gorey, Theodore Sturgeon, Gahan Wilson, Robert Aikman, Joe Haldeman. A short novel by Stephen King. Okay, what's the King? Interesting how he keeps popping up everywhere. Well, there's a story by a guy named Dennis Etchison that wasn't listed on the front. Carl Edward Wagner, or Wagner, I'm not sure. T.E.D. Klein, Gene Wolfe, Ramsey Campbell, Clifford D. Simak, Russell Kirk, Lisa Tuttle. Let's see here. Ray Bradbury's A Touch of Petulance. The Night Before Christmas by Robert Bloch. Interesting. He's the guy that wrote Psycho. The Mist by Stephen King. Okay. That's in, I believe, Skeleton Crew. We have Christmas at Cold Comfort Farm by Stella Gibbons, author of Cold Comfort Farm. Is it the angle I'm sitting at that I can't see? It just looks like a black rectangle to me on the screen. I hope y'all can see stuff. I have Oliver Sacks, and this includes Awakenings, which I believe is a movie, A Leg to Stand On, The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat and Other Clinical Tales, and Seeing Voices, with a new preface by the author. So this is like 4 in 1. And I keep seeing some of those titles popping up different places, and I thought, why not? I'll pick it up and see what it's about. 5 modern English plays. And this includes The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde, Pygmalion by George Bernard Shaw, Riders to the Sea by John Millington Synge, The Corn is Green by Emlyn Williams, and Witness for the Prosecution by Agatha Christie. Good old Dame Agatha. 100 Years, 100 Stories by George Burns. I thought this might be kind of funny because, I mean, he had a great sense of humor. American Folklore by Richard M. Dorson. Here, grounded firmly in American history, is a skilled folklorist survey of the entire field of America's folklore, from colonization to mass culture. The entire field? Really? Including index, it's 328 pages. I don't think you're getting the entire field. Anyway, this is Long Knife, a novel based on the life of George Rogers Clark by James Alexander Thom. My brother does reenactments at the George Rogers Clark homestead up near Springfield, Ohio. So I thought he would be interested in this. He may already have it, but I'm going to stick it in a stack of books I'm giving him for Christmas. So if he has it, great. Pass it on. If not, at least it's something new. I couldn't remember. I thought I picked this up in the previous library sale, but I wasn't sure. But I have a copy of East of Eden by John Steinbeck. That seems to be making the rounds recently. I have the complete stories of Erskine Caldwell. I don't know anything about this author. There was a lady there who's like, oh yeah, he's great. You'll love it. There's a ton of stories in here. Just tons of them. I mean, you know, all these, all that. What I find weird though is this table of contents is alphabetical by story title and not by the order they appear in the book. So it's really more of an index than a table of contents. I find that very bizarre. There's 664 pages in this book. I don't read a lot of short stories, but I figured that was a good way to dip my toe in and see if I like the author at all. Because if I don't get on with their writing style in a short story book, I might not get along with them in a larger work. So, we'll see. I'll set this aside somewhere. And there's just a couple more. We have The World's Greatest Elephant, which I picked up for my niece because she loves elephants. She's going to be 12 this December. This is probably going to be, way too young for her. But it's about an elephant. So, it's one of those kind of kind of a toss-up what to do with it. This one is A History of Ohio. I thought my brother might like it. The cover's coming off. It's in pretty rough shape. But it looks like it covers a pretty fair amount. Let's see. Does it say how far it goes? Bibliography, index, appendix. It goes at least up to the 1950s. Because here it's talking about something in 1954. Can I find the publication date? Columbus, the Ohio State Archaeological and Historical Society, 1956. So apparently it was published in 56. Copyright 53, third printing 56. Okay, figured that one out. I thought these sounded interesting. Myth and Legends of the Indians of the Southwest. Myth and Legends of the Indians of the Southwest. This is Navajo, Pima, and Apache. This one is Hopi, Acoma, Tewa, and Zuni. Is it Tewa or Tewa? Tewa. I'm not sure. But I thought that might be interesting. I like learning about, ooh. Apparently there's a Lakota museum someplace. Where is this at? I don't know. I like learning about different cultures and things, so I thought this might be interesting. One of the few cookbooks I found, Fun with Mexican Cooking, and was in the kids section. The North American Folklore Folk Medicine. I thought it sounded interesting. They had this over in the children's section, but it's not really a kid's book. Appalachian Snakebite Cure. If bitten on a limb, tie a rope or handkerchief around the limb just above the wound. Cleanse the wound at once, suck the wound. Cut the wound open so the blood will flow freely, then fill it with salt. Or if you have it, use pomegranate. Use permanganate of potash diluted 3/4 with water, followed by full doses of brandy or whiskey. After this, apply bruised plantain leaves and give a teaspoonful of the juice from the bruised leaves every hour. If plantain isn't available, kill a chicken, and while warm, cut open and lay upon the wound, entrails and all, and it will draw out the poison. Or apply a poultice of onions and salt, cauterized by applying a red-hot iron. If the victim survived, he was fortunate. That's the cure, so-called cure sounds worse than getting bit. Holy cow. And I believe that is the end of the stack. Woo! Okay. Now the trick's going to be finding a place to put all this stuff. Anyway. So I hope you enjoyed my little haul. Under 100 books, or items, considering the first 18 things we talked about were CDs. And I still got to reach under or maybe get Neko Fluttershy to do it, to get the one that fell out of the case and went under the dresser. I can see it, I just may not be able to bend enough to get it. Is there anything in here that you recommend? I know that's a lot of different titles being thrown at y'all at once, but like with the Stephen King, is there any of those 4 that you would recommend reading before the others? I don't know when I'll have time, but we'll figure it out. I haven't been reading a whole lot lately, and it's making me sad. I just, with my work schedule, and it's changing again after tomorrow, but it'll be more of a permanent thing, and I think once I get used to my new sleep schedule and work schedule, then I'll be able to start reading again. I'm sitting at like 275 books for the year, and I read only a handful in September, and I've only read like 2 or 3 things in October, and we're at, the 6th already. I will finish I Am Legend by Richard Matheson. I'm almost done with it. I have a couple more short stories at the end to finish. So I'll get that one done today at least. But beyond that, I just don't know. I haven't had a whole heck of a lot of time to do reading. Or the desire. I come home and I'm exhausted. I lay down. I'm going to watch a video and fall asleep as soon as I turn the video on. So, yeah, I'm not even getting YouTube stuff watched anymore. That's how tired I am when I get home. But I think once I get everything adjusted, because right now I'm still kind of all over the schedule. Tomorrow I go in at 4 p.m. and I get off at 8 a.m. on Saturday. So, I mean, that's a 16-hour shift. Last weekend I did that same 16-hour shift and then turned around after getting off at 8 a.m., went back in at 8 p.m. and did another 12 hours. So, almost 30 hours in one weekend. That's a lot in basically 2 days. So, yeah, I was pretty well exhausted. I'm still trying to figure out when to go do laundry. I mean, who's got time? They got to go to the laundromat. And I hate going to the laundromat because if I had a working washer and dryer at home, which I'm hoping my brother can figure out how to fix at least the washer, because then I can use the drying rack and my clothesline out back. So I don't have to have the dryer working right away, but if I could at least get the washer working, then I won't have to spend like 3 hours at the laundromat. Yeah, I can listen to some books then, but if I'm at home, I can be doing other things. I can throw the stuff in and not worry about it, not have to sit there and babysit it. And I can be doing, like I can be cooking, or I can be, doing who knows what. Versus going to the laundromat and sitting there on a very uncomfortable bench that makes my back hurt. Maybe listening to a book, but spending all that time away from home when I could be at home doing other stuff. So, yeah, I hate going to the laundromat. But it is what it is. And until I can either afford a new washer, which the prices washers go for right now, yeah, that ain't happening. Or I get it fixed, which my brother seems to think it's a switch issue. One of those things has to happen for me to be able to not have to go to the laundromat. So, fingers crossed we can get something figured out. As my poor brother, he comes down to visit and I work him to death. Like, the last time he came to visit, it was so he could repair my toilet. And, I got my water bill from having that leak. It was almost $30 more than a normal month on water. Because it leaked that much. I knew I was wringing out a lot of water. I didn't realize it was that much. So, yeah, what a pain in the butt. I hope you never get leaks. Because it sucks. But I don't really have anything else to talk about at the moment. Get this uploaded. And I guess I can call it a spooky season video, because there were some spooky season books in there with the Stephen King and the Ray Bradbury and the Algernon Blackwood and all the true crime with Anne Rule and some of those other Lovecraft and the different omnibuses and things that have the spooky stories. So and the party planning for Halloween. So I think I can call this a spooky season video, because there's probably at least one box full of books that qualify under spooky season. So anyway, if you have any recommendations out of the things I just hauled, what I should try to prioritize, let me know. if you have a channel and you do a book haul, let me know. I'd like to see what kind of goodies you find. I feel like I did pretty well, even though it was a much smaller sale this time. They're only running it for 2 days instead of 3, so that's kind of a sign, I think, that they just didn't have as much stuff. And yeah, I think we'll cut it off here. So remember to do all the YouTube things: comment, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Maybe. We're up to 65 subscribers, so that's decent. I gained quite a few in the last couple months, so yay! I think I'm going to finish I Am Legend, and I'm looking at maybe reading Uzumaki. Stephen King's It. That sucker's like 2.5 to 3 inches thick. It's a big old book. Uzumaki's big, but it's a graphic novel, so it won't be as daunting as It, which, I mean, that's a big old book. Got a couple of the books that are shortlisted for the Booker. I've got at least 3 of those I want to read. I really need to read Sharp Objects so that my thing will quit asking me if I'm done reading it. No, I'm not done reading it. I haven't even opened that file, so why do you think I've already read it? Yeah, my Kindle's crazy. Anyway, that's all I've got, so we'll see you in the next one. Bye.